live. All right. All right, what do we have here? What? Alrighty, there we go, and 3 little dots. Oh, who do we have tonight? TNT Mom 72. How are you today? All right, running the safe mode. Let's get this ball rolling. Hold on a minute. Tony, Cell Lab, Big Buck Wall Street, John, Joe, Dash, Tay, Sander, Christopher, Paul, Johnny, Soju, Steve, Connor, USA Farm Style. I'd like to have a chat with you, dude. That would be cool. Drop me your number. I'd like to have a conversation. Bob, Frederick, Easton, Corey, JGM, Morse, Abana, okay. Special K, good evening. Johnny C, Freckled Queen, good evening. Back again, I see. Peter, how are you? John, Pat, VP David Graham, Mike, Wall Street Plumber. We all need a Wall Street plumber. USA Farm Style. Cheese Dude. Edward. Peter. Enzo. Eric. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. My name is James. This is Dividend Stock Talk. Brought to you by the 10-Minute Trader, where I invest in dividend stocks for weekly cash flow. Looking for a simple, safe, and predictable 1% per week. Cheese Dude. Eric. Mike, Young Desher, okay. Streaming, and we're streaming. All right, all that being said, let's get out of there. Here we go, right there. Trade right there. All righty. All right, Jan, Wizzo, Seju, BE, what's going on? Jonas, Teddy, Sata, Guy, Kevin Doherty, Justin Wilcox, Jan Schwartz, how you doing? Crypto Rich Bitch, Frankie Madrid, Bob Parker, what's going on? Rubicon, Ty 66, Scotty, what's going on? All right. So, my name is James. This is Dividend Stock Talk, brought to you by the 10-Minute Trader, where I invest in dividend stocks for a 1% weekly cash flow. That's what I'm looking for. What we're doing here tonight is you guys going to ask me to take a look at some stocks that you're interested in. I'm just going to take a look at them and give you my opinion. No, they are not recommendations. No, they are not tips. It's just observations. It's very simple, easy to go by. Andy Cap, I think so. Thomas. What do you trade? I trade dividend stocks. Crypto Rich Bitch, SLV. That's a silver entity, and I don't know why you want to do paper. SLV. Hell no. Now, Crypto Rich Bitch, the reason why I'm saying rejection at 90. Imagine that. No, I think it's still going to keep going up. The longer you hold it, it's hypothetically going to reach 300, 340, somewhere in that area. But it all depends on who you listen to and what unfolds on the earth. Because only so much silver is actually available to use. And you have industries that rely on silver in order to produce their products. Refrigerators, air conditioners, solar panels, electric circuit boards. A lot of stuff requires silver as a product. Jazzing, what's happening? Aaron Cooper, how are you? Yep, welcome to the old man, Chucky, Ralph, Pike 212. All right, so I'm saying no to SLV only because I don't buy anything at the high of the year. Sorry. And yeah, it should hypothetically go over 100. Hypothetically, depending on who you listen to. All right, that being said, What else do we have? Eric, how are you doing? Ben, how are you? Oh, makes sense, doesn't it? All right, thank you. So what do you guys want to take a look at tonight? Give me something good. A company that is consistently profitable, a company you don't mind owning. Makes sense. SKYT. Well, let's take a look at it. SKYT, Skywater Technology. Now, I'm going to say no to Skywater Technology, Connor. The reason being, it hit its high just the other day. When a stock jumps up, hits the high of the year, usually there's going to be profit taking. Then that stock is going to pull back. See, your 30-day bottom is way down here. She shoots up, here's your 30-day high. One down day, another down day. They call that profit taking. Look at it this way. 30 days ago, we're at 18 bucks. Okay, 18 bucks 30 days ago. Now we're at 36. That is a 100% increase in 30 days. Of course there's going to be profit taking. Okay, she shoots up, profit taking. Now it's not guaranteed. Nothing I say is ever guaranteed. There's only 3 guarantees in life. And most of you know 2 of them right off the top of your head. Rejection at 90. No, it should keep going up. Craig Sheets, how are you? Golden Wisdom, thank you. Yosef. ASTS. ASTS. Hell no. Didn't you just hear what I said, Yosef? I don't buy at the high of the year. It just doesn't make sense. Okay, I've always heard buy low, sell high. Never have I ever heard anybody say, buy at the high of the year and wait for it to go higher. No, I don't play that game. Sorry. What do we have next? Who's up? Who's up? Patrick, how are you? Connie, David, Vino. What's happening, Vino? David wants to take a look at ETN. ETN. Is that Eaton? It is. Ooh, good company. Unfortunately, it's starting to turn. Okay, let's take a bigger look. The bigger picture. You ready? The high of the year, the low of the year. Where was it a year ago? Where is it now? What's the motion? What's the flow? Where's the cash coming and going? Down, up, down, up, down, up. What's happening right here? What happened today? Well, before we do that, we want to take a look at the numbers. Is it going to be worth my while to look at this thing? Well, it's at 334.04. Now, we all know one of these things is not like the other. Matchy. Here we go. 334. It doesn't have a 334. It has a 335. And we don't want to do this week because we only have 1 day left. So next week, the 335s, which is the closest strike price that we got, is paying over 570, which is over 1.5%. Well, if we're looking for 1% every week, and this company is offering over 1% for 1 week, well, we got to take a closer look. Does it make sense? Let's find out. Now, I want to take a closer look at the chart. We already saw the 1 year. Now I want to bring it down to the 3-month chart. Benji, it's Benji. Yes, I see that. I want to zoom in a little closer, look at the last 90 days. Here we go, last 90 days. The high, the low, where was it, where is it? Look at this, down, up, now it's coming down. Unfortunately, we're going to say no for Eaton for this week, and maybe look at it in another 2 weeks or so. Because as she comes down, she'll find a bottom and then turn around. Where is it? We really don't know. But I am going to write Eaton down for next week. Because she just might hit that bottom and turn around today. Tomorrow or Monday. Andy Cap, Nokia. Nokia. Let's take a look at Nokia. N-O-K. Uh-oh, QBTS. We'll take a gander at that. Okay. So, here we go. Nokia. Same thing. Always going to be the same thing. Any chart I look at is always going to be the same, and it takes 3 to 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. You should be done. You ready? High, low, was, is, up, down, up, sideways. Less than 4 seconds. Pretty easy. Now we go to the next step. Next step is it going to be worth our while? Am I going to buy it, 650, and then I'm going to turn around and sell it using a covered call at 650. And that's paying 25 cents a share. That's over 4%, or close to 4%, for 1 week. But here's the thing. Do you like this company? Now, I have 5 very specific rules. The trading strategy that I am giving to you for free tonight, no catch, no strings attached. That's what I was looking for, no strings attached. I'm giving it to you for free. I created it over 15 years ago for my 9-year-old daughter. She came up one night and says, "Daddy, what are you doing? Can you teach me?" My 9-year-old daughter wants to know how to invest in the stock market. Now, this was in 2008. So I had to do some quick thinking, and it took me a while to come up with it. So here's the criteria. Okay, she's 9 years old, so it had to be simple. Of course, it had to be safe, predictable, consistent, and no way for her to lose. Now, when I say no way for her to lose, I'm looking at companies that are 50 to 100 years old. Let's take Coca-Cola. They've been in business for over 140 years. Can you really, ask yourself, really, can you imagine a world where Coca-Cola no longer exists? All of a sudden say, you know what, we just don't feel like doing this anymore. Close up shop, head home. I don't see it. That's what I mean by no way to lose. A good company that's going to be around for a long time. Johnson & Johnson, over 100 years old. General Dynamics, more than likely they're going to keep going. Bank of America, well, of course they're going to be around. So those are the companies that we'll take a look at. What do we have down here? Aaron, what's happening? Rad Hammer, what company is this? It's Nokia, N-O-K. Ivan, silver, when will it crash? It ain't going to crash, brother. Take a look at the global scale, the demand for silver. How many corporations need silver to survive? How many industries is relying on silver? I think you're underestimating the disruptiveness of the technology. All these companies that you think will be around might die in 5 years. Okay, thank you. But I honestly can't see Coca-Cola, Pepsi, General Motors, IBM, AT&T disappearing. I can't. Okay? Now, there are some technologies, yeah, they will probably disappear. There are some companies that probably will. But I don't think the companies that are 100 years old are going to disappear like you say. Okay? Johnson & Johnson has been around for a long time. General Mills, Colgate Palmolive. Okay, they have adapted quite well. World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Korea, the crap in the Gulf, Grenada, all that crap that we've seen. The Cuban Missile Crisis. They've all seen that crap. What have we seen in stock market crashes? There's a crash every 10 years. Okay, there's been a correction, a crash, whatever you want to call it, every 10 years. Okay, we're heading for another one. When is it coming? Don't know. It will show up one day. It won't introduce itself politely. But yeah, a lot of these companies that I invest in that are over 5 decades, that's 50 years old, probably will still be around. The sign in your t-shirt read backwards. No, they don't. The camera is showing it backwards. I got a friend that was the director of the data science company, and there were 5 guys outrunning the innovation of a major institution. That's the power of AI. That's got nothing to do with Coca-Cola, Ford, General Motors, AT&T, IBM, or any of those other companies. You're talking about data science. Well, of course, that's not even, maybe it's 40, 50 years old. But I don't know of a single data science company that actually has been around and has consistently increased its profits for over 2 decades. None of them are on my list that I know of. Wait a minute, ADP is on my list. Okay. Anyway, From France, hello, bonjour, mon chéri, comment ça va toujours? Ça va bien, non? How you doing, Davini? All right, GSK wants to take a look at Kohl. So I hope that makes sense. Up, down, how are you doing, brother? Nice chatting with you this afternoon. So Nokia, let's take a closer look at it. And I'm not saying specifically that those particular companies might die. I'm just making a point that it's hard to pick a winner right now. Well, it depends on what you're considering a winner. My consideration of being a winner is a company that makes more money this year than they did last year. And more money than they made last year than they did before. Yes, I know, it's another one. I'm going to leave you to take care of them. Thank you there, brother. All right. So, here's the high, here's the low. She goes up, down, up, and then she goes sideways. So we're at 650. The 650 is paying 24. Let's take a closer look and see if it makes sense. It's either going to be a yes or a no. Connie, we'll take a look at Taiwan Semiconductors in a little bit. All right, so the last 30 days for Nokia, the top, the bottom, up, down, up, down, up, down. Now she's going up. Here's the bottom right here. Now, normally, I want 2 days to the upside. Then on the third day, I'll jump in. But if you really like Nokia and that looks good to you, that's a choice that you have to make. I don't give recommendations and I don't give tips. Please stay on topic and be respectful. Thank you there. Uh-oh. Resto Watcher, first-time investor in gold here. I bought 8-ounce coins. Okay, I really don't care. Okay. If you are taking intraday trades and short-term trades, as we know, trades can go wrong anytime, please tell what things you check before entering the short-term trades. Oh, that's an easy one, Ash. Are you ready? I get 2 criteria and only 2. You ready? Consistency of profitability. Is the company consistently profitable for at least 2 decades? Second, does the company have weekly options? That's it. Consistency of profitability and weekly options. That's it. Don't you like gold investing? It's not investing in gold. You buy gold, it sits, it waits and waits and waits and waits. It does not give you a weekly cash flow. I have some silver, I have some gold. Nobody's dropped off any money in my account this week or last week. Okay, there's no way to get weekly cash flow from silver or gold. All right, what are we looking at now? So that's Nokia. Let's take a look at the 650s and see what that number looks like. If, and only if, you like Nokia. So let's get rid of that. We're going to change it from single to a covered call or covered stock. And we're going to do the 650s. The 650s are right there. And it fills right there. We're going to change it from 10 to 1. Because, I'm only going to do 1 contract. That way you get a good idea what it looks like. What it looks like and what it sounds like. Just 1. Market order, because I want it filled instantaneously first thing in the morning. Here we go. By 1, covered call, Nokia, NOK. 30 January 26. That means this option is going to expire next Friday. Not this Friday, which is tomorrow, next Friday. The $6.50 call option. 26.50 is the profit, 6.24 is the investment. Let's get the calculator out and see what kind of rate of return that is for 1 week. Retro. Oh, Ethan, what are your most important data points of a stock to research before buying? Oh, that's an easy one. Are you ready? Is the company consistently profitable for at least 2 decades? Does the company have weekly options? Is the book value in relationship to the stock price realistic or unrealistic? Now, I'm going to let you make a call on that one. I'll just give you a quick little idea. Okay, the Ford stock and the General Motors stock are right about on par with the value of the stock and the book value. Now, some stocks are weighted unevenly, like NVIDIA, $185 for the stock, but the book value is only $4.79. I call that unweighted, unrealistic. Then I want to take a look at the revenue. I want to make sure that the company is consistently profitable. That's the most one. It's Benji. All right, Benji, I see that. Okay, hopefully that helps. Look at gold in the long term. What are your most important? I already did that one. Okay, did that one. Planning to keep it for 3 years until Trump leaves office. Well, good for you. Silver, gold, will Trump leaves office, then regulation makes a comeback. Oh, yay. Okay. Are you talking PE ratios? No, I'm not. What I'm talking about, what is the revenue per share? How many shares do they get out? How much revenue is coming in per share? What is the book value? If they liquidated everything, what's the actual value of the company? And is the dividend, the portion that the company is giving back to us, the investors, is that increasing every year, or is that doing that flip-flop up-down crap? Retro. I'm in the UK, but I know gold will do well while Donnie's still in power, even though I do not like Donnie. Well, good. Nobody likes everybody. Okay. So, let's get out the calculator, see what kind of rate of return this is. Rate of return. Okay, so the profit is $26.50. Okay, let's slide this all over here. All right. The maximum profit. Now, remember when I said simple, safe, predictable, and consistent? Well, predictable part comes in where I know what the profit's going to be before I even do the trade. How much am I putting up? How much is my profit, my potential profit? And then what rate of return is that? Then I decide whether or not I want to jump in. Because most people just buy the stock and now you have to wait for it to either go up, down, or whatever it's going to do. Okay, I like to know ahead of time. That's why I said it's got to be predictable. I misread. I do like Trump. Oh, you misled. You do like Trump. Okay, well, thank you for that. I'm indifferent. I don't do politics. I don't do religion. I don't want to be dragged into anybody's delusion. Okay, I basically want to be just left alone. Okay, come, share some information, lovely. If your opinion is different than mine, great, keep it to yourself, unless I ask for it. Massive decision from the Supreme Court. Okay, thank you, I'm not interested, but all right. All right, so, maximum profit, $26.50 per contract. Now think of it this way. Think of it as if you're buying a weekly cash producing asset, kind of like a vending machine. A soda machine, a candy machine, gumball machine. Good day. How about Abbott? Okay, running gold. We'll take a look at Abbott Labs in a minute. Okay, sit tight. Maximum profit, right there. Cost of trade, including commissions and fees, $6.24. So anytime you're going to get a rate of return into anything, you have to put some skin in the game. It means you have to do something. So in this little game, we're putting up our money. Right there, $6.24. Our profit's $26. What's the rate of return for 1 week? So we're going to divide 6.24 and that gives us a grand total of 4.2% for 1 week. But here's the thing. Don't get all excited about the 4%. You got to remember what comes along with that 4% for 1 week. Okay? The stock, Nokia. Are you okay with Nokia to the point in which you're going to take your hard-earned money and invest it into the Nokia stock, the company? Are you okay with that? That's a question only you can answer. That being said, 4.2, I'm going to hold on to that one because it just looks good. All right, what else do we got? What other questions we have down here? It's a YouTube issue. Yes, it is. Politics is very important and a big part of the market. Well, good. You play with it. I have no desire. Nokia phones are not too high in demand. Yeah, I get that. So selling options basically limits your upside, but locks in returns. Yep. Think of it this way. Sit tight for a second. I'm going to answer that question. Let's take a quick look at this one first. We're going to put this one over here. By one covered call, Nokia, 30 January. That means the option is going to expire next Friday. Not this Friday, but next Friday. Pub, Mega. Hey, James, I hope you never forget that you are seen and loved. Oh, thank you. And that Jesus is turning your life into a beautiful story. Thank you. All right. The $6.50 call option. The cost of the trade, including commissions and fees, $624. That comes to a 4.2% rate of return. So let's save this one. And it's not doing it for me. Come on, come on, come on. All right, let's get out of this one. 4.2 while that's resetting. $4.2. Okay, 4.2. Why not? So selling options basically limits your upside but locks in a return. Yeah, well, look at it this way. Okay, you can do whatever you want to do. I don't give advice. I don't give tips. I just show what I'm doing. I'm creating a video diary, a video log for my children and my grandchildren. So when I am gone, the only way they're going to get access to their inheritance is to figure this out. I mean, I'm going to give them a big fat chunk of money, but if they can't figure it out, they don't get it. So you're just here as an after effect or a happy coincidence. All right? So what I'm looking for specifically is weekly cash flow. I have no interest whatsoever about the upside of a stock. If the stock shoots to the moon, good for whoever bought the option from me. I want safety. I want predictability. I want consistency, and I want profitability. Now, I have to admit the 1% I'm looking for is really not that huge of a profit. Well, it's really not that huge of an issue to get 1% every single week. And I'm perfectly okay with not getting the upside, but getting the consistency of the 1% per week. Because we're all on a different journey and we're all looking for something different. I'm looking for 1% consistently, predictably, and safely. That's what I'm looking for. And this strategy does it for me. Connor, yeah, but I bought in at 15. Should I sell? All right. Connor, I know absolutely nothing about you. I cannot give you advice any way, shape, or form. It would be in bad form, in bad taste for me to say anything for you to do. If you want to have a conversation, Connor, drop me your number. I will give you a call personally. And I promise I won't try to sell you anything. All right, so retro. It's okay as I'm practicing reading backwards. Good for you. Longest time of spent on the stream. This is very informative. Thank you. Also, best option brokers in your opinion. Bet against Elon Musk heavily. I think he's at the peak. Okay. That's an awesome idea for the grandchildren. Thank you. Is 1% enough? See, 1% every single week comes to 50% per year. And I'm perfectly okay living off of 50% per year. Rob, thank you for that. Thank you for looking at Nokia. Appreciate your time. Thank you. Super Trucker. Well, thank you for sharing. You got it. They pay dividends? Okay. Phil says, okay, Phil, interesting stuff you say there, Phil. ANGX, please. What is that, Phil? ANGX. Angel Studios. Phil, I'm going to say no. Now, the reason I'm going to say no, Phil, is because I don't do monthly options. It just doesn't work for me. Too much time, too much effort. No, thank you. I want to get in. I want to get out. I don't want to have to deal with it. And monthly options, you could only trade them once a month, which would mean I would only get 1% a month. That's 12% a year. That doesn't work for me. 1% a week, that's over 50% per year, hypothetically. Okay? GSK wants to take a look at Kohl's. Ooh. Now, don't get me wrong, Kohl's was great last year. Kohl's gave us a lot of money last year. Here's the top, here's the bottom, here's where it was, here's where it is. Look at this, down, up, down. It's in a downward turn. You know what's good about that? Is right about now, they're bottom fishing. They're looking for the new bottom. Where is it? Where is it and when is it going to show up? And if you like Kohl's, as soon as the bottom shows up, it could be today. We just don't know. Tomorrow could be higher. Monday could be higher. That would be 2 days up. Now, I like 3 days up before I jump in. Sorry about that. Good day. How about Abbott Labs? ABT. Abbott Labs. Ouch. Now, here's something really good. Running gold. Check this out. You're going to like this. Here's the top. Here's the bottom. Here's where it was. Here's where it is. Look at this. Up, sideways, big drop. Look at that big, huge drop right there today. You know what they call a dead cat bounce? That's when you get a big drop like this, and the very next day it bounces up. Now, more than likely, that's what it normally does. I'm not talking this stock particularly, but most stocks, when they have a big dramatic drop like that, it usually drops really big and then bounces up. Usually. It's not guaranteed. But check it out. Here's a big gap right there. Here's the top, the bottom. Where was it? Where is it? Look at this. Sideways, big drop. So, same thing. I'm going to wait for it to turn around and start going up. Now, I'm going to wait for 2 days, which could be tomorrow and Monday, making Tuesday a perfect opportunity to jump in. Jason Alderman, We Ride. Jason, you got to give me the ticker symbol because I've never heard of that company. Next on the list. Retro, you do both. New here. You trade options? Absolutely. What are the benefits of this method over index fund long term? I've never once seen an index fund that offers more than 30%. I've never seen an index fund that offers 20%. Wait a minute. What index fund offers over 30%? You tell me. If I've been making 1% every week for the past 15 years, 1% every week for the past 15 years, that's over 50%. What index fund does better than that? You got to remember, I'm retired. So I get up in the morning, I do my trades, and I go about my day. What else do we have? Jay Blake, you're making 52% a year, is a slam dunk. Thank you. Not really, because J blank, I actually have to do the work every day. What did I buy? What did I sell? Where is it at now? Where does it look like it's going? What should I do next? So I'm here every night. Actually, I'm here every day. 9 a.m. in the morning and 9 p.m. at night, Eastern Standard Time. So Jason, give me the ticker symbol before we ride. Weekly cash flow, thank you, up, down. I like undervalued stocks. Cool beans. I like stocks that are consistently and predictably profitable. So we got something in common. You like undervalued stocks. I like consistently profitable stocks. What is the benefit of weekly cash flow? I honestly don't know what you mean about what's the benefit of weekly cash flow. I'm 62. I'm retired. So the money that I've worked for all my life gives me money every single week using this strategy. And that helps pay my bills. So the money I make this week, maybe they'll pay my mortgage. The money I make next week, maybe they'll pay for the insurance, the electric. Maybe the 1% the week after that, maybe they'll pay for all the groceries. The week after that, maybe they'll pay for the gasoline and all the entertainment. Okay, however much money you think I have, I don't. But I do make a consistent 1% or more every single week on what I do have. And that is my goal, and that helps pay my bills. Kevo! Thank you. Thank you, Kevo. All right, next. Thoughts on Zillow. I don't think Zillow, first of all, you got to give me the ticker symbol because Zillow is not on my list, so I don't know what the ticker symbol is off the top of my head. Rejected at 90, blah, 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 blah. We did that one. QBTS. User 3857. What is QBTS? Hold on. Okay. QBTS. D-Wave Quantum Inc. Some strange reason, okay? Some strange reason, I don't think this stock has 2 decades of profits. I've never heard of them. What is QBTS? Well, let's go to Yahoo Finance and see just how profitable this company is. So, QBTS. Let's find out who did this one. User 3857261748. Here we go. D-Wave Quantum Inc. Look at that. No dividends at this moment in time. Now, the name of the show here is Dividend Stock Talk. The number one word there is dividend. Why are you showing me a stock that doesn't have dividends? What else do we got? QBTS. Vino, your thoughts on University of New Hampshire? It's at its 30-day high, though. Well, then why are we going to look at it? UNH, United Health Group. Okay, here's the high in the 600s. Here's the bottoms below 250. Okay, down, up, down, sideways. Now we're moving right there. Why does this look inviting? Here's the last 90 days. Here's the high, here's the low. This basically just went sideways and just made a peak here and a divot there. Sorry, I'm going to say no to this one because, like you said, it's at a 90-day high and a 30-day high. I don't buy anything at the high. If you really like it, wait for it to dip a little bit before you jump back in. Do you prefer to make your trades at 9 in the morning or at night? In the morning. Thoughts on Microsoft? Let's do Microsoft. MSFT. And yes, Microsoft is on my list. Check it out. Especially that right there. The high, the low. Where was it? Where is it? Down, up, sideways, down, up. 450. The 450 is going for $12. That's over 3%. If you like Microsoft. Do you like Microsoft? It's a $450 stock. That's going to hurt the purse a little bit, but let's check out the numbers. Before we do, the last 90 days, the last 3 months. top, bottom, is, down, sideways, down, up. It only has one day to the upside. Let me zoom into that and show it to you. Okay, the bottom was yesterday. Okay, 3 weeks ago, it was at the 30-day high. And then she dropped, 30-day bottom yesterday. Now she's bouncing up. It's only one day to the upside. Okay, you decide where you want to jump in. Is this an IT course? No. Okay, Shadow Man, this is basically education. It's a free education looking for a simple, safe, predictable, consistent 1% per week. That's over 50% per year if you're interested in that kind of stuff. All right, what do we have here? Thoughts on Microsoft? Well, let's check out the rate of return. All right, let's get rid of this. And let's do the 450 250s because there isn't a 453. Okay, the covered call, the 450 250, there it is right there. And just one to make it easy for you to do your math. Market, there it is, and confirm and send. There we go. By one covered call of Microsoft. 30 January 26th. It means I'm going to buy the stock. I'm going to sell the option. Okay? The rate of return I'm looking for, the 450 250 call option. I'm looking at $1,061 for a profit, potential profit. Max potential profit. Cost of the trade, including commissions and fees, $44,189. So let's do the math and find out what rate of return that is. Calculator. That would be the profit, $1,061. And we're going to divide that by the outlay of capital, $44,189 for one contract. Well, what does that come to? Now, remember, that might be a little bit much for you. I like to stay under stocks under 350. That's what I like to do. This one's 450. All right. 2.4%. 2.4% for 1 week. If you like Microsoft. And if you have $44,000 for one contract. So let's save this one. Let's save Microsoft and see what the next one's going to look like. By one covered call, Microsoft, 30 January, that's next Friday. The 450 250 call option, the profit is $10.61 and the investment is $44,189. However you look at it, doesn't really matter. It's still a 2.4% for 1 week if you like Microsoft and if it makes sense to you. Now remember, we're all adults here. You are responsible for whatever you decide to put your money into. Okay, so let's save this one. $2.4%. Yay, 2.4%. All right, what else do we have? What else do we have? Okay, Logan, you got to give me the ticker symbol for Zillow. It's not on my list, so I have no idea what it is. Income, Ethan. ONDS, no dividends before premiums on the contract are very good. ONDS, you say. I never heard of it, but, you know, okay, I'll take a look at it. That's why we're here. You give me suggestions, I take a look, I give you my opinion. That's all it is. It's just an opinion. ONDS. 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 Interesting. Interesting. I'm going to look up under Yahoo Finance and see if this thing has dividends because something tells me it don't. ONDS. Now, if you're going to be investing in the stock market or investing anywhere, you need to have access to a financial website. Okay, use whatever website you need to find those answers that you need in order to make your decision. Okay, so I'm going to say no to ONDS. I don't care how good the premiums are. There are no dividends. And with no dividends, that means I'm going to have to read all of those quarterly reports and all of those annual reports. Yeah, no thank you. No thank you. Drive. Is Harley going up now? Let's check it out. I like Harley-Davidson. I actually have some Harley-Davidson. HOG. It does look like it's coming up. It looks like it's bouncing off the bottom. We're going to check that out in a second. Let's see. The high, the low, where was it? Where is it? Look at this. Down, up, down, up. That's easy. Don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. Okay? To draw the outline. Okay? A year ago, down, up, down, up. It's actually that easy. Adults have a tendency to make this more complicated than it really needs to be. It was created for a 9-year-old. It's not that difficult. So, Harley-Davidson, let's take a look at the numbers. 2078. 21. Come on, the closest one to 2078 is going to be the 2050 or the 21. So, wait a second. It's at 2152 now, aftermarket, 2152. So we're going to look at the 2150s right there. That doesn't look good. The 21s are going for that. The 2050s are going for that. Yeah, that spread's wrong. 2078, 2152, that's over 70-cent spread. Spreads are usually 3 to 5 cents on the options, not a buck. So we're going to ignore that, and we're going to do the 21s. They're paying 25. Let's find out. First and foremost, a year ago, Harley-Davidson's at 28.58. We dropped down in April to about 20. We shoot up in September to 31.60. Now look at the last 90 days, the last 3 months. The high, the low, where was it? Where is it? Look at this. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, we got our bottom right there. Let's zoom in, take a look at the last 30 days, because the last 30 days gives me a good idea of where do I think it's going next. And it should jump right out at you. Take a look, it should jump right out. 30 days ago, up, down, 30 days ago. We were here. She shoots up to the high, drops to the bottom. Now we have 1, 2 days to the upside. If she opens up higher tomorrow, that's my cue to jump in. That's my cue to jump in. You got to figure out what's right for you. I like a 30-day bottom coming off of a 30-day top. Down, now she's going back up again. Because you can call it whatever you want. Stocks hit a 30-day high, then people start selling and taking their profits. You can call it a correction. Okay? You can call it a mishap. You can call it profit taking. You can call it retracement. You can call it whatever you want. I like to call it profit taking. It hit 21.60, dropped down to 21. Now she's going back up again. What else do we got? So let's take a look at Harley-Davidson at 21. Covered stock, the 21s right there. One contract at the market. Here it goes. Here it sounds just like this by one covered call, Harley-Davidson. 30 January 26th. That's this coming, no, next Friday. Okay, 30 January is next Friday. The 21 call option. 57 is the profit. 2,043 is the investment. What numbers that looks like? Does it make sense? Some of these questions are very important. They're simple questions. Does it make sense? Do I like this company? Do I like this company at this current price? And do I really understand what a covered call is? Well, let's figure it out. Why does the calculator keep disappearing? I don't remember Xing it out. Okay, profit, 57 bucks. Divided by 2043 equals 2.8. 2.8 for Harley-Davidson if you like Harley-Davidson. $2.8. Let's see. 2.8. Does it make sense? Do you like it? ONDS new dividend. We're going to get that one. Okay, border the Hayes Records trade futures. Yeah, no, thank you. I trade futures with a prop firm, way better than stocks and options. Good for you. What do you think about SPCE? Isn't that Virgin Galactic, SPCE? I thought we saved this. Come on. There it is. $2.8. Here we go. Nope. There it is. One covered call, Harley-Davidson, 30 January, the 21 call option. Profit, 57, the investment, 2043. The rate of return is 2.8% for 1 week. 2.8% for 1 week. There we go. 2.8% for 1 week. It's really not that difficult. What else do we have? DX stock. I have built up almost 8,000 shares. Robert, how are you today? Robert, I don't even know what DX stock is. DX. Dynex Cap Inc. REIT. Good luck with that one, brother. I don't buy anything at the high, and I definitely don't do monthlies. Sorry, Robert. I don't do monthlies. Just not worth the effort. Nero, the laborer, the Labrador. Nero, the Labrador. What's the best day for Microsoft? Alan, I couldn't tell you that one. Robert, do you recommend penny stocks for beginners? Oh, hell no. Thoughts on American Airlines? Super Trucker. Didn't we look at American Airlines last night? The top, the bottom, where was it? Where is it? Down, up, 1502. The 15's going for 57. That's just shy of 4% if you like American Airlines. Well, let's take a closer look at it. Glasses. A year ago, American Airlines was at 1909. Now, in April, we bottomed out at 1891. That is a 50% drop. More than a 50% drop. From the high of the year to the bottom of the year. It's about 50% drop. This is not a game for the squeamish. Okay? If you buy something and it drops 10, 20, 30, 40% and you panic and get out, that's your own damn fault. Now, for my 9-year-old, simple, safe, predictable, consistent, no way to lose. That fifth one always gets people. Okay? Now, the only way you lose money is to make the conscious decision to sell it for less than what you paid for it. So if you buy it at 19 and it drops down to 8 and you think to yourself, I'm getting out now because 8 is better than nothing. You just made an agreement with yourself that you're willing to take less than what you paid for it. If you have 100 shares, you have the ability to have one viable contract. So the contract is selling at the money, in the money, out of the money, every single week. This number changes. Whatever at the money is today is going to be different than at the money tomorrow, next week, a month from now. But if you have one contract, it doesn't matter what you bought that one contract at, because at the money will give you X amount rate of return. 1, 2 strikes in the money will give you X amount stated rate of return. Out of the money, the same thing. You just have to decide which position is best for you and for your goals. Okay, we all have a different destination in mind, but we're all going the same direction. Profitability, that's the direction that we're heading. Profitability that way. Whatever you want to do, it's a decision that you are 100% responsible for. Okay, if you cannot handle buying something at 19, having it drop to 8, and not panicking, you shouldn't be playing this game. Okay, there are risks involved, and most of the risks lie on you. It's got nothing to do with the numbers. It's got nothing to do with the stock market. It has to do with how you react to the information that you are seeing. Rule number 1, never going to change. Never buy something you do not want to hold on to long term, regardless of what happens. Once you make that decision, everything you do after that should be directly related to making a profit and not taking a loss. That's why we do good quality companies that consistently increase their profits year after year after year for at least 2 decades, because that just makes sense. Well, to me it does anyway. That was the rule for my 9-year-old. You guys are all adults. You got to figure out your own rules. You got to decide what's right for you, because your path is different than mine. You know what mine is. Simple, safe, predictable, consistent, 1% per week. Okay? So, what's happening here? The last 90 days, the last 3 months. Top, bottom, where was it? Where is it? Look, it's up, down, up, down, up. It's actually going up. Let's zoom into that. Okay, the top, the bottom. Look at up, down, up. It's actually that simple. So you ask yourself, do I like this company? Do I like this company at this price? And am I willing to jump in? Well, let's see what it looks like. American Airlines, we're at 1502. Okay, let's do the 15s. Sounds about right. The 15s right there. Let's do just one, just to give you an idea. Now, there's a huge difference. I'm talking a huge difference between American Airlines at $15 and Microsoft at $450. Huge difference in the outlay. But what about the profit? How much am I going to make a profit on American Airlines? Well, here we go. Buy one covered call, American Airlines, 30 January. That's this coming Friday. No, wait a minute. Next coming Friday. Sorry. The $15 call option. Here's the profit, $57. The investment, $14.43. What's the rate of return? Let's clear that. 57 is the profit. We divide it by the investment, $14.43. Grand total of... Well, I hit the wrong button. Hold on a second. Let's try that one more time. I tell everybody, you're going to lose most of your money by hitting the wrong button. I just hit the wrong button. All right, not a big deal. 57 is the profit, divided by 1,443. 3.9%. Does that make sense? Do you like American Airlines? Now, American Airlines is giving a 3.4%, 3.9, 4% for 1 week. I like 3.9. Let's put it up. Oh, and there it is right there. Right there. Yep, that's it right there. Buy one covered call, American Airlines. 30 January, the 15 call option. 57 is the profit. The cost of the trade, including commissions and fees, 1,443. It's a 3.99% for 1 week. If you like American Airlines. And it's not a tip, it's not advice, it's just an observation. Damn it, I hate it when it does that. Well, we'll give it a minute to upload. While it's doing that, let's get out of this and let's find the next one. Okay. Bully 3M. All right, Twisted Pasta. What's happening, dude? All right, Bully wants to take a look at 3M. Take a gander. Whoops. Oh, wait a second. I forget which this one was. 3.9. 3.9. Gotta love it. Gotta love 3.9. What do we have next? 3M. Well, here we go with 3M right here. The high, the low, where was it? Where is it? Down, up. Down, up. Okay. Making a nice move. It's got a gap right there. It looks inviting. Look at your last 90 days. Whoops. I don't like doing that, but it happens. Last 90 days. Here we go. Top, bottom, was, is. This thing basically went sideways. Stayed between 160 and 172. Okay? Had a little gap down right there. Now she's bouncing up. Here's the bottom. 1 day, 2 day, right there. That gap is going to fill. If you like 3M, I'm going to write this down for next week because that baby's going up, in my humble opinion. The last 30 days. Okay? Simple, right? 30 days ago. 30-day high, 30-day bottom. Where was it? Where is it? Look at this. Up, down, up. Easy to see, right? Well, we're currently at 160.63. The 160s. Let's do this right there. The 160s right there. One contract at the market. Here we go. Are you ready? Buy one covered call, 3M, 30 January. The 160 call option. 192 is the profit. 15,808 is the investment. What kind of rate of return is that? What is that? Joe Blank, what do you think about SPC? We're going to take a look at that in a minute. I'll look at that right after we're done here. Okay? Okay. The profit, 192. The investment, 15,808. Well, was the calculator telling us? 192 divided by 15,808 equals a grand total of 1.2%. Okay, I can deal with 1.2. Not as lucrative as those other companies we looked at, but still, 1.2 is not bad. It's still over 50% per year if you like the company. Well, do you like 3M? It's a simple question. You either like it or you don't. What is the one you already did that is 4.2? Twisted pasta. We'll have to take a look at it next time I bring it up. All right, what do we have over here? Asparagus. Thank you for that. D-Dog. 1% could mean a lot. Yes, it does, D-Dog. But you have to be willing to put in, that 5 to 10 minutes every single day. Okay, user 3857261748. We already looked at QBTS. That is great. Red Rum. Yep, I like that. How long do you hold your Aristocrats dividends? I like to hold them for just 5 days, but not always the case. Sometimes I got to hold it longer. Sometimes I want to hold it longer. Now, I will buy something, and if it gives me 1% every single week, I'll keep it and just roll it forward every single week until the market maker stops paying me 1% or more. Jeremy, thank you. Twisted Pasta, we'll look at that in a minute. Whiz, can you please check Hood? Carlos, I'm pretty sure Hood does not have 2 decades of profits. $3M, one covered call, $3M. 30 January, that's next Friday. The 160 call option. 192 is the profit, 15,800 is the investment. What does that look like? Well, 1.2%, if you're okay with that. $1.2. Nokia. Carlos wants to take a look at Robinhood. Now, I'm pretty sure Robinhood doesn't have any dividends. But we will take a look at it just because you want to. Hood, H-O-O-D. That looks interesting. Here's the top, here's the bottom. Where was it? Where is it? Look at this. Down, up, down, up. Okay, 106.25. The 106 is going for 3.25. That's almost 3% if you like Robinhood. Yep, there it is. Down, up, down, up, down, up. If this baby opens up higher tomorrow, it's a definite shoe-in if you like Robinhood. If you like Robinhood. 106. One contract. At the market, here we go, and there it is. You ready? Buy one covered call, Robinhood, 30 January, the 106 call option, 272 is the profit, 10 G's is the investment. What does that look like? What's that rate of return? And Carlos, do you like it? Well, calculator tells me that 272.50, the profit. We're going to divide that by 10,328. And that gives me a grand total of 2.6%. 2.6% for 1 week, if you like it. So let's save that one. Alrighty. What do we have next? Robert, I have built up 8,000 in DX. Robert, we looked at that already. It was a no. DX is a no for me. It just didn't fit. There's Robinhood. Robinhood, 30 January. That's next Friday. The 106 call option. 272.50 is the investment. 10,328. That's 2.6%. If you like Robinhood. How's it going, brother? Nice to see you. Wait, what do we have? Questions. Do you have any questions here? We got one question. Mark, how you doing? All right. 2.6. Wow, look at all the ones we found today. 2.6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. We very rarely find 6 in one day. All right, let's grab a seat, get comfortable, and ask a few questions. Let's do some of these. All right, Sack says hi. Sack says hi to Kohl's. All right. Mass Erig. Crypto or Forex? Neither one. I don't either one. We just did 3M. Uh-oh. Wow, I missed all these questions. Okay, Michael Kelly, we just looked at 3M. Southeastern Paint and Restoration. Hey, dude, how are you doing today? How I can be part of the group in the morning. Dude, send me your phone number. Not here on the screen, but DM me your number and I'll give you a buzz, me personally. Or you can go right to the website and sign up for a call and ask for me to give you a call. Okay? Phil. Phil says OGE. OGE. What is OGE, Phil? The only reason I ask is because it just doesn't sound familiar. OGE. OGE Energy Group. Yeah, no thank you, Phil. It's a monthly. I don't do monthlies. See, those are months of the year. Thank you for the answer. You're welcome. Performance model, gold and silver. You have fun with that. Silver junior miners. Okay. Ooh, Running Gold wants to take a look at Tractor Supply, TSCO. No. That was quick, wasn't it? Lisa, how you doing? Okay, so the reason I'm saying no to Tractor Supply, Running Gold, is at the high of the 30-day period. That means your high was here, it dropped, there's the bottom, it shot up. Now it's time to take profits, not time to jump in. IO real estate. Why would I want to look at that, Steve? IO. There's no options, dude. That's a no. See? No options, no thank you. Digital Accession Group. How are you today? Robert John, you said that 5 times, John. I really don't care. Okay? You told me about DX 15 minutes ago. By telling me the same question over and over and over again is not going to change the answer that I give you. It was a no 15 minutes ago. It was a no 5 minutes ago. And it's going to be a no again. Sean, O Realty. Sean, you asked me about O Realty last night. You did. Last night, I remember. O Realty was a no last night. And it's going to be a no tonight because it's a monthly optionable stock. And it's at the high of the year at this moment. No. St. Martin, Nail, N-A-I-L. Okay, interesting. What's going on? High, low, where was it? Where is it? Look at this, down, up, down, up, down. What's going on here? 66.21. The 66s are going for almost $3. We all know what that means. You get a high premium, more than likely there's no dividends. So let's go check and see. What was it? N-A-I-L? N-A-I-L. Let's find out. Okay, here it is. Direction Daily Home Builder Supply Bull 3X. Yeah, all right. Dividends only. Oh, it does have dividends. Imagine that. Well, let's see how many they have. All righty. It goes all the way to 2017. Now, I don't know about you, but 2017 to today is only 8 years. That's not 20 years. I want 2 decades for me. So I'll look at it for you, but it's not going to do it for me. All right. See, I have a major problem. Major problem when a company comes out, the very first dividend is 115. Not that I have a problem with 115. Look at the next one. 2 cents. So it went from $1.15 dividend down to 2.2 cents. Explain to me why you think that's good. It only has 8 years of dividends. Of dividends, not increasing dividends, just 8 years of dividends. Okay. So the first one, 115. The second one, 2. That's like a 98% drop or 99% drop. That doesn't make me happy at all. So it goes from 2 to 6.2. That's a nice increase by 300%. Then it goes to 5.4. That's a drop of over 15%. Then it drops again to 4.2. And it drops again to 0.2. To 2. And then it drops again to a half of, no. I'm going to say no right off the top. They started out strong and just got worse and worse and worse as it progressed. Okay? I want consistency of profitability. What's the best financial website? Steve, I honestly could not tell you. Okay? I found Yahoo Finance over 3 decades ago, and I never left because it's everything there that I want to see. If there's something there I want to see and it's not there, then I probably don't need to see it. All right. Lisa, Mickey D's. Gotta love Mickey D's MCD. Mickey D's 306. The high, the low. Where was it? Where is it? Look at this. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. 306.03. The 305 is going for 360. It's just like 1%. That's all it's offering. So let's look at the last 30 days. Okay. 30-day high, 30-day bottom. Retrace, retrace. Here we go. 2 days to the upside right there. That looks good. It's not paying 1% though, because if I buy it at 306 and I sell the 305s, I'm losing $1, which means I'm only getting 260, not 1%. Sorry, Lisa. User 8342638795081. QCOM. Why can't you just say Tim? Peter. Well, we got QCOM. QCOM. Ooh, nice. I like this right there. That's cool. All right. Top, bottom, was, is, down, up, down, up, down, up. 157.80. 157.50 is going for 320. That's almost 2%. If you like QCOM. Well, let's take a look. Last 30 days, that's pretty easy. Okay? Up, down, a big drop. Now she's retracing. After that big drop from 185 down to 152, now she's going up. Look at all that space. That we can trade this thing for a couple of weeks before we jump on out. All right. QCOM. All right, let's do QCOM. Covered stock. The 157.50s right there. One contract. Tra la 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 la. Market. Here we go. Oops. Buy one covered call Qualcomm. 30 January, that's next Friday. 157.50 call option. 260 the profit. 15 grand's the investment. What rate of return is that? What rate of return is that? 260 is the profit, 260. And we're going to divide that by the investment. Anytime you're trying to find out the rate of return, you're going to take the profit and divide it by your investment. That gives you the rate of return. And the interesting thing about the rate of return that we're looking for, it's weekly. That means we should hypothetically be able to get that rate of return every single week. We should be able to. It's no guarantee, but we should be able to. 15,490 gives me a total of 1.6%. Qualcomm. 1.6%. Well, let's take a gander. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Come out wherever you are. What is this one right there? Is that it? Nope, that ain't it. That one. What is that one right there? There it is, Qualcomm. All right. One covered call of Qualcomm. 30 January. 157.50 call option. 260 is the profit. 15,490 is the investment. That's 1.6% for 1 week, if that makes sense. This is a bunch of questions. The first one, does that make sense? Second one, do I like this company? Those are the questions you need to figure out. Do they make sense? All right, so 1.67. We're running out of room. Running out of room. Let's grab a seat and answer some questions. We got quite a bit of questions up here. Zem, hello and how are you today? Slappy White, you're doing ONDS? Nope. George Martinez, how are you today? Oz Cabrera. So what is your take on HLEO? I think you spelled it wrong. I think it's HELLO. Anyway. All right, bad sense of humor. Delete. Let's go back to the beginning and let's see what we got. And you said HLEO. What is that? HLEO. Helio Corp Equity. Hell no. George Cisco CSCO. Interesting. Nice, George. Let's check it out. Top, bottom, is, look at this. Up, down, up, down, up. What's going on? 74.33. The 74 is going for 115. Well, that's more than 1.25 if you like this company. Now, I have no idea who they are, what they do. Okay? It is your responsibility to look at whatever it is you think is good. Never blindly listen to somebody online. Can you explain what the wick versus the body of the candle is? Alrighty. It's not a question I usually get, but hey, bloody then. All right, you ready, running gold? Here we go. You'll notice the candle. Some of them are green, some of them are red. Okay? Now, There's 5 things to look for anytime you see a candle. The wick, the top of the wick is the high of the day. The bottom of the wick is the low of the day. Okay, red and green, same thing. The high of the day, the low of the day. The color doesn't really matter. Now, what does matter, the green is an up day. The bottom horizontal line is the opening price of the day. The top horizontal line is the closing price of the day. The distance between the bottom and the top is the range of the day. Now, the red, same thing, high, low. But the top horizontal line is the opening price of the day. The bottom horizontal line is the closing price of the day. So 5 things. Okay? Open, close, high, low, range from here to here. On a down day, a red day, okay? Open, close, high, low, range. Okay? That makes sense? Alrighty. All right, what do we got? AT&T, Trinity. Ooh, good evening, Miss Trinity, and how are you today? Let's get out of there. And we're going to look at T as in A, T, and T. And look what it's doing. Okay, the top, the bottom, where was it? Where is it? Look at this, up, down, up. 23.58, the 23.50s are going for 54. That's over 2% if you like AT&T. And look what happened. It's the high of the year. She dropped, made the new bottom a couple of days ago. Now she's turning around and going back up again. Well, that makes sense to me. I actually bought some AT&T today. So let's zoom in a little closer. Last 30 days. 30-day high, 30-day low. She jumps up, bottoms out, now she's going up again. It just makes sense. What's going on? Oops, nope, I missed it. There we go. Low power mode, there we go. All right, so 2350, the 2350, let's see what it looks like. Let's see what a covered call at 23.50 looks like for AT&T. Okay, just one contract. That way you get to decide how many can you do. Can you do 5? Can you do 32? Can you do 1? Well, let's look. Buy one covered call, T, AT&T, 30 January 26. That means the option is going to expire next Friday. 23.50 call option. I'm buying the stock first thing in the morning. 23.58. First thing in the morning, I'm selling somebody the right, not the obligation, to buy it from me at a certain price, 23.50, by a certain date. 30th January. That's next Friday. So whoever buys this option can do whatever they want. They can buy it. They don't have to buy it if they don't want to. If the stock jumps up, maybe they will buy it and get that profit. Now, I already got my profit. My profit is this right here, $51 per contract. Now, I'm not greedy. I'm not looking for a whole lot. I'm not looking for a trade that's going to change my life. I want a trade that is going to be boring and forgetful. Do you know what I mean by that? Boring and forgetful. That means I do it, I get my little profit, and then I move on. That's it. I make the trade, get my little profit, and then move on. I'm not looking for life-changing trades that change my life and turn me into an overnight millionaire. If that's what you're looking for, you are definitely in the wrong place. That's not what we're doing here. I like simplicity, profitability, consistency. Okay, what's the profit here? Alrighty, 51's the profit. What's the investment? $22.99. Let's call it 23. I mean, come on, really? Are we going to quibble about a couple of pennies? $2,299.66. Why don't we just call it 2,300? Make it easier. So 51 divide 2,300, grand total of 2.2%. Give or take a penny here and there. Does it make sense? That's the first question. First question you should be thinking, does it make sense? Do I buy AT&T at the current price, sell somebody the right to buy it for me the same price I just paid for it, pick up a very small profit, 2.2% in this situation, and then move on to the next one? Okay, we check every week. This week there's 10,800, I believe it was 16. 10,816 different companies we can choose from. So why should we do this one? Well, I know who AT&T is. I know what they do. Next, TSEM. We're not going to save any more. We got like 7 of them saved already. Let's just answer some questions and see what we got. Alrighty. Qualcomm, they pay dividends. Okay. Thoughts on Boeing put? Well, let's take a look at Boeing. What is Boeing doing? Now, normally, I don't teach puts. I'll just take a look at a Boeing and see what it looks like. But like I said, I don't give tips. I don't give advice. Well, I give a little bit of advice, but it's so generic it doesn't really count. Okay? It's like my suggestion would be paper trade before you put real money in. That's one piece of advice I give. Education. That's another piece of advice I give. I don't give stock tips. All right, let's get out of AT&T. What was next? Boeing. I haven't forgot about SPCE yet. I haven't forgot about that. Hell no. Okay, so John, you want to talk about puts, huh? Yeah. What do you think, John? It went from 170 all the way up to 251. Do you think it's going to be pullback? I think there is. Not a game I want to play, but hey, it is what it is. Next on the list. Okay, SPCE. I was right. Virgin Galactic Airlines. Okay. Alrighty. It's at 321. The 3 is going for 28, which would give me 7, which would give me a 2%. Nice. Okay. Logan, got it. That's great. He doesn't want to be trading stuck with his screen every day. No, I don't. Bro, turn your phone around. Don't do selfie mode. If I don't do the selfie mode, how am I supposed to have a conversation with you? Because if I turn the phone around and look at the other camera, I can't see any of the questions. Think about it. What's more important? Asking questions and getting the answers? Or seeing the chart when I point to the high, which is the high, and I point to the low, which is the low? Just because it's backwards doesn't mean it's incorrect? No. Please try it. Okay, here we go. I'm going to turn my camera around. All right, what do you think of that? Doesn't help, does it? Doesn't help. It's a YouTube thing. He can't see the chat if he turns it. Walmart, hold forever, and it has a dividend. I'm going to disagree with you if that's okay. WMT. Okay, it's at 117. The 117 is going for 206. Ooh, nice. Okay, but I don't buy anything and hold forever. Okay, besides, I do weekly cash flow. And I could do it with Walmart. Just every once in a while, Walmart comes up for consideration, and sometimes it don't. So here's the question for you right here. Why would I be buying Walmart if it looked like that this week? It doesn't make sense. Every week is different. What does Monday look like? What does it look like it's going to do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? I want to jump in, I want to get my small profit, and I want to move on. For God we love. Good evening to you, TSLL. I actually have some of that. Let's take a gander. What does that look like? TSLL. Look at that right there. That looks delightful. Let's zoom in the last 30 days. What do you think? 30-day high. She drops, retraces, finds the bottom right there. Now she turns around. There's your 2 days. Today and yesterday. Definitely going back up if you like this company. And the premiums are pretty damn good too. The 1877s, the 1850s are going for 130. That's more than 3% if you like it. Must run, early flight to Key West. Have a great weekend. Dude, Key West. Hope you have fun down there. Thanks. Up, down. Have a great trip. Yes, no, dividend, hold, I sold. Okay. All right. Is market overvalued? Of course it is. Okay, John, we already got that question. Grateful, please call when you have a chance. Okay, Grateful. As soon as we're done tonight, I'll give you a buzz if your number is in the in the chat. Dark Energy Guy. Morning Joe. What if nobody buys your contract? Okay, Morning Joe, if you didn't know, which you wouldn't know because you asked that question, if the market maker has it listed here, he's required to fill it at whatever that price is. Okay? It's like when you go to a grocery store and they say milk is $3.50 a gallon. They are required to sell it to you at $3.50 a gallon. Melissa, good evening. Okay, user 83426387958081. We're going to look at QCOM. Lisa, when you say if you like the stock, what would be reasons if you do not like the stock? Not being consistently profitable, having a book value absurdly inconsistent with the stock price. What else? News that maybe the CEO said or did something that's not quite copacetic with your beliefs. There's a lot of reasons why you may not like a company. Remember, Lisa, it's your money. Wherever you put it, that's your decision. Okay? You have to be comfortable with whatever decision you make to put your money. Okay? So if you put your money into AT&T, great. Do you want to put your money into, what company was that? R.J. Reynolds. You might be a firm believer against cigarettes, and you say, oh, hell no, I'm not going to support them. People do things for whatever reason they think is right for them. We have a lot of questions to answer. Holy cow. Money inspiration. What are some good long-term stocks for like half a year? Okay, money inspiration. You ready? You got a pen and paper handy? Dividend kings, dividend aristocrats, dividend champions, dividend contenders, anything on Warren Buffett's list. Those 5 lists I just gave you is about 300 companies on those 5 lists. Okay, it's your responsibility to do your research. Okay, don't listen to whatever I say. You know absolutely nothing about me. How do you know what I'm trying to, if I'm trying to sell you something that's not good for you? I don't give tips. I don't give advice. Okay, you want to find something you like? Do your research. What else do we have? Selling off the profits from ASUIB investments. I switched to Mira Asset Venture investments. I expect it to be reminiscent of a slump. The last shaking is over now. Foreigners have noticed and are buying about 200,000 shares. It would likely double, at least in the short term, after selling off the profits. Blah, 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 blah. We already did that one. What do you think about SanDisk? AZ Chino, you gotta give me the ticker symbol. Okay? If it's a good quality company, I'll know it right off the top of my head. If I don't know it off the top of my head, you should be saying, well, what's with this company? King Motorsports, RCL, Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. Am I right? Royal Caribbean Group. Okay, Royal Caribbean Group. Same thing. Ooh, I like that. Check that out right there. That's cool. We got 20 minutes and I have over 100 questions to answer. So we've already found 7 companies, so we're not going to find any more. But I do like Royal Caribbean. What about WU? What is that? Western Union? No. Sorry, Chino. I don't do monthlies. Okay, monthlies. You could only trade it once a month, and that just doesn't make sense for me. Suzio, 52%. Thank you. Merv Atkins, how are you today? Uh-oh. Vino says, what about RTX? RTX. Isn't that Raytheon? No, it's RTX Corporation. No. Come on, dude. Why do we want to buy at the high of the year? Come on, Vino. The high of the year. Why am I buying at the high of the year? It makes no sense. Alvarado de Fritas. ¿Qué pasa, amigo? Garrett, how do you find dividend stocks? I go to Google. And in Google, I write Dividend Kings List 2026. Dividend Aristocrats List 2026. And Google just finds it for me. Running Gold, LW. What is that? What is LW? Lamb Weston Holdings. What the hell is that? 44.11. That's going to be a no. And the reason it's going to be a no, Running Gold, check this out. You got a big drop, so eventually that will fill. But look at the numbers. You bottomed out here, okay, at 40. You jumped up, now it's at 44. So 40 to 44 is 10%. So think about it. Why would you want to jump into a stock that already jumped 10%? You got to remember there are people like me out here who are looking for a small portion to get in and then get out. All right, let's keep on keeping on. Zem, how are you doing? Steve, what's happening? Colin! Colin likes Harley-Davidson. Sean, want him to check that stock. All right. LAC, please. What the heck is LAC? Lithium America. Okay. I'm going to say no. Now, the reason I'm saying no, Pinchung, is this thing was at $2 4 or 5 months ago. So if it's at $2 4 or 5 months ago, what makes you think this thing is profitable for at least 2 decades? Well, for the fun of it, let's go to Yahoo Finance and let's put it in there, LAC. Well, LAC. And let's find out exactly. All right, there it is right there, see? LAC, Lithium Americas Corporation. So let's find out what the profit is. Oh, Pichung, check that out. There are no dividends. Why are we looking at a stock that has no dividends on a channel or a show that is specifically geared towards dividends? All right. Everald de Fritas, Riot. Didn't we look at Riot yesterday? I'm pretty sure we did. RIOT. Interesting. Okay. The top, the bottom, look at it. It shoots up, pulls back. Now she goes up again. Now she pulls back. Not the time to jump in because it looks like it's looking for a new bottom. Okay. 30-day bottom, 30-day top. Now you got your profit taking started. I figure about 2 weeks. So I'm going to write it down for 2 weeks from today. RIOT. All right. We'll see what it looks like in 2 weeks. Steve, the ticker O. Yeah, that's O Realty. That's going to be a hell no. Okay, John, I asked you nicely not to do that. It's like the 6th time you've done it. I really don't care. Okay. Can you please check Hood? Carlos, we looked at Hood. XDTE. XDTE. No. Who came up with that one? Boy, Granny. Okay. I don't do monthlies. Do you see that? February, March, June, September. Yeah, those are months of the year. I don't do monthlies. They just don't work for me. D327, you bought UPS at 83. UPS. Interesting. Okay, so D327, I got a question for you. Okay, you bought it at 83. Now it's at 109. So the question I have for you is, well, it's not really a question, it's more of a statement. Number one, it's not a profit until you take it. And then nobody ever went broke taking profits. Sean, we already did O Realty. You asked me that already. It's already going to be a no. Terry, APLD. Okay, now don't get me wrong. I have some APLD, but she's starting to pull back. So not quite where I want to jump in. Okay, this is where I want to jump in right there. And if we go backwards, check this out. Okay. 30-day high, she pulls back. Okay, 30-day bottom, 1 day, 2 days to the upside. That's where I want to jump in right there. Okay. Okay, so I jumped in, it dropped, and it kept going up. Okay, that's where I want to get rid of. Now it's starting to come back down again. So no, not this week. Bo Campbell Soup. CPB. Dropping like a rock, ain't it? Check it out. It's the high of the year. There's the low of the year. Now she's right here, 26.55. 26.55 is going for 40 cents a share. If you like it. Just Days, GIC, that's General Mills. GIS, GIS is General Mills. And that's going to be a no. I don't do monthly options. Do you remember when I said rule number 1? Never buy something you don't understand? That's rule number 1. Now, why are you asking me to take a look at this? Because if rule number 1 is don't buy something you don't understand, if you know that O Realty is a monthly optionable stock, why are you asking me to take a look at it when I said specifically I don't do monthly optionable stocks? I just don't do them. It's just not worth the effort. Terry, IMSR. Terrestrial Energy. Come on, dude. I don't do monthlies. Okay? Why are you playing a game that you don't understand? And it's pretty simple. If you don't understand a stock, don't buy it. If you want me to do the work for you, you're just going to piss me off. Okay? We're all adults here. If you like O Realty, you should know that it has monthly options and not weekly. And you won't be asking me to take a look at them because I already said I don't do monthly options. Bhagat Singh, Path. PATH, Unipath Inc. Interesting, and look at where it is. Check that out. Okay, the high, the low, where was it, where is it? Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. 15, 15. The 15s are going for 58. They ain't got dividends, more than likely. Let's take a gander. Last 30 days. That's nice. Okay, check it out. Last 30 days. Up, down, up, down, up. So it's going up. It's bouncing off the 30-day bottom. I love it when something bounces off the 30-day bottom. But I don't know anything about this company. Before I would do it, I would check. Are they consistently profitable? What's the book value? How much is the revenue per share? There's a lot of interesting things they really should ask. Start fresh. Harley-Davidson is a good entry price to ride up and sell calls against. All right, well, thank you for agreeing with me. Pinchung, LAC, we already did that one. Riven has not been around for 20 years. That's going to be a no. Don't even want to waste our time with that one. What do I think about SoFi? I think the marketing for SoFi is extraordinary. The marketing for SoFi. They have no dividends, so they're going to be a no. Your pup sounds like he needs you. Thank you, Lisa. I'm sure Mama will take care of the pup. All right, what do we have here? Gold Daddy, Flown, Pichang, we already did that one. Victor, F.J. Castle, Audrey, good evening. All right, Pichang, you keep asking about LAC. You ready, LAC? Okay, there you go. No. Right? Now, I told you why I said no. Because LAC was at $2 6 months ago. So how could it possibly have 2 decades, 20 years of increased profits? How? You can't do it. Okay, D, we already seen that one. Hey, Dr. Corey, how are you today? Uplifting Land Empire. Well, thank you. Do you ever do the wheel strategy? Not really. Too many working parts. Julius, QBTS. Julius, we looked at that last night. What makes you think what I said last night is not going to be the same as what I'm going to say today? QBTS. We got 1 day of the upside, Julius. Okay, bottomed out yesterday. Today's 1 day to the upside. We talked about it yesterday. I want 2 days up, and then on the third day, I'll look at buying it. What do you think about SanDisk? I think I asked you nicely to tell me what the ticker symbol for SanDisk was. Okay, we already looked at WU. We already looked at Royal Caribbean. Sell or buy. Can you check EXK? That just sounds like EXK, like a horror story waiting. And it is. TF. What is TF? That's a no. We already looked at WU. That was a no. What's the time frame? The 1 year. Nope. Poverty? Nope. New here. When you say the 2 to 3%, what do you mean? I thought I was pretty clear. Okay, I'm looking for 1% every week. 1% every week is right about 50% per year. Okay, 2% a week, well, that's over 100% a year. 3% a week, that's 150% a year. Okay, it's always but the weekly rate of return. Annie, how do you think the market for tomorrow, S&P 500? Don't know, don't care. I don't do the S&P 500. It's not consistently profitable. If you go and take a look at the profits for the S&P 500, let's call it SPY because that is the index for the S&P 500. Okay, Annie, are you ready for this? I want to go and look at the full 20 years of profits. Okay, the full 20 years. Okay, and here they are right here. So Annie, pay attention, because 20 years ago it was 2006. Here it is right here. 2006. All right, you ready, Annie? Okay, 2006, 51.9. 55, that's higher. 57, that's higher. 79, that's higher. 55, that's lower. Did you see that? Higher, higher, lower. 65, higher. 71, higher. 77, higher. 64, lower. Higher, higher, lower. Higher, higher, lower. Nah, it doesn't work for me. Hold on, it gets worse. 64, 69 higher, 69 higher, 71 higher, 56 lower, 51 lower, 50 lower, 59 higher, 48 lower. Do you see what I'm seeing here, Annie? Up, 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 down, up, 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 down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down. No, no, thank you. I don't like it. It just doesn't work for me. But it actually gets worse, Annie. We're going to take a look at this right here. The summary. Go over to the summary. Okay. It's going to find, here it is right here. You ready? Okay. S&P 500 ETF. All right. You see this, Annie? These numbers? Yield. The yield is basically when you invest your money, what rate of return are you getting? What is the yield? What is your return? 1.07 for the year. One whole year, 1.07. That's the yield, 1.07. Year-to-date return, 0.51. It's a 0.5%. 0.51. No. I just don't do that. Okay, I want 1% every week. SPX or the S&P 500 doesn't do it for me. I don't do it. So I don't even pay attention. It's not even worth my time to look at it. All right, no more stocks. We're going to see what other questions do we have. Monthly. Yes, I don't do monthlies. Sorry. Thank you. You're welcome. Ticos, I'm in South Africa this side of morning. Cool beans. Vino, what happens to the market order in the morning if it opens far less or way more than what you thought? Vino, it's going to be a personal preference. You either do a market order and deal with the consequences of a market order, or you do a limit order and you deal with the consequences of that. Kid Laser Star, what do I think of XRP? It's on a dividend stock, so it's a no. Terry, can you make your screen bigger? No. What are you thinking about Advanced Auto Parts? We'll check it out tomorrow. Lisa, got it, thanks. I was thinking the same reason, so I feel like I'm getting it finally. Nicely done, Lisa. You're the best, Mr. James. Yay for me. Merv Atkins, hello. Procter & Gamble, we'll have to look at it tomorrow. Andy Rides Europe. What to watch in options spreads theta ETWA. Andy, that's not a question I'm going to be answering, okay? I don't give away all that kind of nice stuff. Trinity, SanDisk, SNDK. SNDK, there it is. Hell no. How's that for an answer? Place, PLCE. PLCE. Interesting. No. Lemonade, Comcast, CMCSA. Nice. That would be a yes. Look at the move. That looks nice. Hims and hers would make a comeback. Yep, probably. GC, is there any material you can look at to better familiarize myself to start this better equipped education? My suggestion would be a book called Wall Street Money Machine by Wade Cook. What else do we have over here? Gennard, Coca-Cola, look at it tomorrow. Boy, Granny, we already looked at that. It was a no. User 22554412855522. MDT, Medtronics, look at it next time. Wall Street Money Machine, thank you. Zach, Marvel, love it. What do you think about Immunity Bio? Cooper, never heard of it. Thank you. Ooh, Doctor in Iowa, DE, John Deere. Gotta love John Deere. Let's take a look at it next time. Cooper, next time. Doctor, you're pretty well fantastic, but Mama Rosa tells me it's bedtime. Yep, I'm going to agree with you. I got 1 minute and then I'm out of here, so I'm going to see what I can answer. Long overdue real estate investor, DUOL, never heard of it. Adrian, is Schwab a good platform to trade? I have my own money. Adrian, I honestly couldn't answer that question for you because I don't know what type of trader you are. Okay? Dr. Corey, Philip Morris. Really? A doctor wanting to jump in at Philip Morris, the cigarette company? I don't know, Doc. Kevin, PayPal doesn't have dividends. Sorry. Gennard, what stock is this? Comcast, CMCSA? Dr. in Iowa, DE, John Deere. Love John Deere, but I don't buy anything at the high, dude. It's at the high of the year right now. Oh, Lemonade, PayPal does have dividends. Well, let's check it out. PYPL. PYPL. We'll check it out in a second. TTWO, never heard of it. Okay. Does he not answer questions on TikTok? Of course I don't answer questions. I try to answer every question. So, Doctor in Iowa, you're new here, and what you don't know is that I have nine platforms, Doctor, which means in front of me right now, screen number 1, screen number 2, screen number 3, 4, 5, and 6. I got 6 screens in front of me, all asking questions. So no, I can't get to every question as soon as you want me to. So, terribly sorry. Dan Vigil, Serve, SERV. What am I looking at? SERV. All right, interesting. It's actually coming down. Okay, you got your 30-day bottom, 30-day top. Now she's coming down. All right, Latin United Music. Lyft has not been around 20 years. So why would you think it has 2 decades of increased profits? Lando, does the dividend yield change or is it locked in when you buy? It changes because you got to look at it this way. Whatever you buy the stock is, whatever you buy the stock is. Now, as the company's more profitable, the dividend will increase. Your entry price will never increase. Okay? So if the stock is the exact same and the dividend increases and decreases, yeah, the yield will change. If the if your entry price is at one place and the dividend increases and decreases, yeah, the yield will change. What do we have down here? How do you think market tomorrow? SP, I already did that. Thank you, sir. Love the education. You're welcome. Bump, bump. CRM, take a look at it tomorrow. Hey, James, looking forward to our call tomorrow. What are your thoughts on media stocks? You're under the impression that I have everything organized in a manner that actually makes sense. No, I don't. Okay? Everything I have is organized by the calendar. I honestly really don't care what they do. Really don't. My concern is the company profitable consistently for at least 2 decades. That's 20 years. That's number one. Two, do they have weekly options? If they do, that allows me to jump in and get weekly cash flow from all my positions. That's my goal. Weekly, safe, predictable cash flow. Now, basically, I like good companies that are consistently profitable. Lisa, you're welcome. Lemonade, PayPal's dividend is low, but they just started. Well, if they just started, they don't have 2 decades. So that's going to be a no. Lando, XRX. What the hell is that, Lando? Now, you've been here before, Lando, so you should give me a good idea. What is it? XRX. No idea what that is. XRX. Xerox. Hell no. I don't do monthlies, dude. I just don't do monthlies. User 55897429311175. Tesla does not have dividends. GC, I want to get more info about your investments. Can you have anything to look at, sir? Yeah, why don't you DM me with your phone number? Okay, send me your number. I will give you a buzz either tomorrow or the next day. All right? And if, GC, you're on TikTok, the 10-MinuteTrader. So you go to the top left, okay, where it says the 10-MinuteTrader. Click on that, and that will bring you to the website. My website is full of information. It's been there for like 15, 20 years, so there's a lot of stuff there. Thank you, Yeehaw. Yeehaw, child. 2 decades of being public? No. 2 decades of profitability. Remember, the stock market's been around for 400 years. The very first stock was 1602. So yeah, 2 decades of consistent profits. Rick McKinney, how are you doing today? Have a hard time understanding dividends. How can you have a hard time understanding? They're very simple. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. Think of it this way. A dividend is a small portion of the company's profits that they give back to the investors. So if you're an investor and the company's making profits, you own a part of the company, you are entitled to a small portion of the company's profits, and that is usually the dividend. The weekly versus monthly and whether to reinvest those dividends, that's a you thing, brother. You have to decide, do you want to spend those dividends or do you want to reinvest them? Big Sexy! Just learning, trying to learn more rather than holding on to XRP, or is it good to hold that too? It's going to be a question only you can answer, Big Sexy. Okay, I have no idea who you are. I have no idea what you're looking for. So I can't give you any advice whatsoever. But if you want to have a conversation, go to the website, book a call, or drop your number right here. I'll give you a buzz later. Okay, so that seems to be all the questions, and it's past 11 o'clock. So I'm calling it a day, and we are going to do this all over again Sunday. Sunday. Now, only because I don't do Friday nights anymore, and I don't do Saturday nights anymore. So next time I will see you guys is Sunday night, and we'll do the same thing all over again. Simple, safe, predictable, consistent 1% per week. That's my goal. The 5 simple rules. Rule number 1, never buy something you do not understand or you do not want to hold on to. Rule number 2, make sure never ever sell at a loss. It just doesn't make sense. Rule 3, is the company consistently profitable? I like 2 decades. That's 20 years. Hey, it's Calvin Hill. Woohoo! Way to go, Calvin. Rule number 4, weekly options only. And finally, rule 5, make sure all the numbers work. What am I buying it for? What strike price am I selling? Is it more than 1%? Is the chart telling me it's time to go up? It's a very simple trading strategy created for a 9-year-old little girl. You guys have a great night, and we'll do this all over again Sunday night. Have a great night, everyone. Bye, all y'all. Now, you guys over here, remember, tomorrow at 2:30. And now, the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friends, I'll say it clear. I'll state my